And welcome. That's right, it's Friday night, and this party is tight. I am the man you may know as Z, and this is Our Reviews Will Kill You.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home, and he's bringing the party with you. We've got Baby Yoda in the back, and I am joined by my usual compatriots, the dejected degenerate, that is the noob.
No, I need to talk to me ma.
You need to talk to your ma.
Me ma, she's very ornery. She wants some proper loser juice.
Well, you know all about the loser juice, but we will get there at some point. We'll get to that loser juice. And we're also joined by the king of the airwaves. He's not quite the king of pop, but he is the king of squawk. It's Squawk Keebler.
Squawk Keebler. That's an interesting and new one. The king of whatever I deem I'm the king of. And tonight I'll be the king of all of our friends we have in chat. Sam Jr., I see you're there. Jay Bird, Noob's boyfriend. Ron Schrade. Big Bird's here. Already tell Noob to shut up. And Big Bird, that's why I like
Big Bird, you're going to take a piece of me, Big Bird, aren't you?
Doc's a little feisty tonight.
But yes, we do want to join, like all of you. Thank you for joining us. I'm getting tongue twisted here. It is Friday night. Thank you for joining us all. I see Noob there is ready to enter the Bat Cave.
I am.
Oh, he's ready to plunge all the caves.
Plunge right in my ma's bat cave.
Is that what you're calling it these days?
He's doing it all up. But hey, we're going to go ahead and get into things right away. So first off, let's tell you guys what we have going on. Tonight in our news, we have Nuns with Big Hammers. We're going to try to live through a conversation about Putin's home, Brady and his minions, and more. And then in Orc Tales, we're going to talk about fat squirrels, zombie beavers, actually not beavers, raccoons, and big feet. And then, of course, we're going to review Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous and Blown Away. And then we have a taste test of loser juice in honor of a UFC fight that happened most recently. But
I love that loser juice in my mouth.
Get a little bit of loser juice.
We'll get into that. But actually, to tell you the truth, it's a whiskey tasting that we're going to get into later tonight. So that is something I'm looking forward to. But first, as always, let's get through some housekeeping.
Housekeeping, you want me to jerk you off?
What kind of hotel is this?
And of course, first things first, over at youtube.com/ourreviewswillkillyou, you can see a video that Z and Noob just did recently. It's about the GameStop fiasco that has been going on in the stock markets. In case you don't understand it, you can go ahead and check that video out. Z tries to explain it, and Noob makes dumb jokes.
Does he? Does he, though?
Or do I really explain everything that's going on and I have the insider information from GameStop?
He's super clear.
Yeah, he's
super clear.
Super clear about which way he goes. But on top of that, tomorrow you guys can look forward to another video from those two. I haven't seen it yet, but it's about Kongzilla, the King Kong versus Godzilla thing, whatever that may be.
We give you a little inside information, maybe a little bit of spoilery possibilities. So that'll be something you can look forward to, where we reveal some secrets about Kong versus Zilla.
Get a little bit of that mechanical goodness.
The big, exciting thing on HBO Max and theaters coming out hopefully shortly, even though
March
it got
31st,
delayed.
I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
March 31st.
March 31st it'll be out, so you could take a good look at it.
If this is what I have to look forward to all night, I'm quitting.
I'm going to talk like this the entire fucking show.
He's going to do the whole show, and you're going to really enjoy it. It's going to be really good.
And I'm going to start drinking now because...
Just start it up right now.
So, Noob, you have a giveaway.
Oh, shit. Oh, I really do. It's a pretty good giveaway there, lads. And it's Batman Soul the Dragon. It's a lot of bats, a lot of souls, a little bit of dragons, a lot of Asians, because it's primarily with Bruce Lee, and he's a flying dragon of Asian.
I don't know that anyone understands what
I
you're
don't
saying.
know. That's basically...
So we're going to go ahead and move on. He's got a giveaway, so keep tuned.
There's a giveaway, it's Batman.
So keep tuned to our Instagram for that. And last week we talked briefly about WandaVision, and I want to tell you guys, if you're not into it yet or you're just an idiot like Noob, Watch episode 4 just released today. They turned that shit up to 11.
Ooh.
It's definitely what you've been waiting for the whole time.
Show is garbage.
It's
not
no,
wow.
you watch it. I'll tell you what, noob, you watch it, get through episode 4, and you're going to be right back on board. I guarantee it. And as a tease for next week, I watched on Amazon Prime a show called The Great Escapist. It's with Richard Hammond and Tori Belleci from Grand Tour and Mythbusters fame. I'll talk about that next week. So that's something for you to get on Amazon Prime to watch as well. So when we get into that, you've seen it, and that way you can join us with that conversation. So because we had a ton of housekeeping, we won't take any longer and just get right into the news.
No news about chips. We'll get to that. Breaking news.
Good news, everyone.
So the first bit of news we have comes from the world of Warhammer 40,000 or 400,000 or 4
Pretty
million
sure you
or
go with
4
40K.
something. I just know that whatever I called it
Warhammer.
there, we have this person on the phone line that's having a seizure because of whatever I just called it. But the news that comes from it is some new character. It is from the Sister of Battle. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a little video for their release, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to welcome to the show. He is an ex-brewer like myself, one of my old hockey buddies, and an actually very talented artist. The stuff you've seen, Cam Windrig. We didn't even talk about if I should call you by your full name or not, but hey, Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and Cam is totally fine. Also, you nailed the name on the first try there, Scott.
I actually wasn't sure. Actually, when I played hockey with you years ago, I wasn't sure if I was calling you the right name back then. But
either one works.
I thought you were inviting Cam Newton on the show, and we were going to talk about his relationship with Bill Belichick. I'm confused.
no, next week will be Cam Newton. But this week we have.
So what do we even? I know
So-
we have covered board top games in the past, and I figured Scott could
Gotcha.
finally be convinced that he should join the world of board top games.
So
And
the
I figured
reason that
nuns.
I've asked
do it
Cam to
for
join us is it Warhammer 40K, Cam?
That's what people just call it for short, instead of Warhammer 40,000. It's just because it's set in like the years 40,000 and on. And as far as board top games goes, this is basically board games on steroids. It's a pretty heavy investment to get into, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, before
You
you
gotta
get,
be-
before you
go ahead.
get too far into it, there, bud. The story that came through, and the reason we're talking about it is they have a new character or a new figure, I guess it would be. And I'm going to read this off, and none of it's going to mean English, but is from the Sister of Battle, or the Adepta Sororitas, who are militant nuns known for their campaigns against elders, orcs, and tyrannids. They're associated with the Imperial Inquisition, and they released the Seraphims and Penitent Engines twists, and their new origin is the Paragon Warsuit. I have no clue what any of that meant.
Speaking English.
Did I really just hear that there's a bunch of elder abuse in this candy?
I have no idea what any of that meant. I don't know what Warhammer 40K is, and most people don't, but
You know, this board game make me gay.
I do know that, Cam, I'm going to pull up some of the art that you've done, the figures that you've done. You're a player of this game. What is this? Is this like a Dungeons and Dragons, or?
So it's not quite. So imagine like StarCraft or the old game Warcraft, like real-time strategy games. It's that, but you're assembling your army and painting it yourself, and everybody has whatever race they're using, and then there's different factions within each race, and then they break down into units, and then each model is a part of a certain unit. And yeah, you just build like a war zone on a tabletop, bust out a measuring tape, a shit ton of dice, and then just have a battle. Like they break it down into different rounds. There's different phases. Like there's psychic powers you can throw off, and then you go into the shooting phase, and then you can even get into close combat and tear people up that way.
Well,
But
we are
outside of that too, we got.
We are looking at a board. I have a board up on screen, which is I've stolen images from your Instagram. I mean, this does look impressive. It looks like there's a mixture of painted and non-painted pieces here, but also on our YouTube page, I'm showing images that you put up. These are pieces that you've done. I'm looking at a blue character here that looks like the Mach 1 from the Iron Man suits.
No, it's a space marine. Sure, right?
That's a
space marine.
Yeah.
So that's a space marine. So do you are you making these or you purchase the pieces and then paint them yourself?
So you actually buy them, and they come on something what's called like a sprue, and it's just individual little tiny plastic pieces that you can assemble them kind of however you want. People go real crazy. They'll even like sculpt things onto them. And then, after you assemble them, it's just gray plastic, and you go ahead and paint it up yourself and then do the basing and everything. And it's not like most groups, you don't necessarily have to have an entirely painted army. A lot of people, they just want to build them and play. And the only time you really absolutely have to have it is for tournament play, but that's a whole world that I don't want to get into because it's just fun for me.
Dude, I'm looking at some of the work you do, some of these characters you have. I mean, this is super impressive. Here's an axe welding dude that has blue hair straight out of heavy metal.
Yeah, the Chaos Space Marine. That's the 40K army that I play, and I definitely went with them because they are metal as hell.
It fits your personality. Now, when you paint these and play, can you lose these pieces, or are these like it's not like Pog where you lose your valuable pieces?
It's not gambling, Scott.
Oh God, no. No, you put way too much money into this shit to ever give that stuff away. No, it's basically like if they die, you pull them off the table, and like each model has like a specific amount of wounds that it'll take, and they all have like each thing you see there again goes into a unit, and they has a card that tells you like how far it moves, what you have to roll for it to hit with a shot when it's shooting, what you have to roll for it to hit when it goes to wound. It's a very, very big numbery game, and then there's also like other special rules that go in with it for all the different armies. So it's wild. It's like when you first look at it, it can be a little intimidating just from the sheer amount of like books and like information you got to get. But once you get down to it and play, and especially if you're like me and you're lucky and get to go play at a winery and you just get drunk the whole time, it's an awesome
now
time.
You're talking my language. This does. I mean, this has a huge Dungeons and Dragons type feel to it. Am I wrong here?
It can, yeah. And a lot of people will try and get very thematic and narrative with it because they've actually built a whole lore universe around this. Like if you look up the Black Library, which is an entire publisher that the company that makes these models created, that fleshes out this universe, and it makes like the expanded Star Wars universe look minuscule in comparison.
Wow.
Yeah, there are books and video games and all sorts of stuff based around this.
I think I have an important question.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron, Camothy, if I will.
Yeah.
So since you're, fully entrenched in the Warhammer universe, have you gone down the rabbit hole of Warhammer porn?
I have not, luckily. No, because it's just so grim and dark. Like, even in the books, there's no romance. You never have to worry about romance coming up. And most of the times, you only have to remember half the characters' names because they're going to be dead by the end of the book.
Much like many of these players, romance is not a part of their lives. Cam, so I want to thank you because, first off, none of us, and I'm sure a ton of our listeners, have no clue what Warhammer 40K even was. And now we do know. And the reason
can you have an orc army?
And yes, can you have an orc army?
Yeah, actually, there are space orcs, and they are hilarious and awesome. They're basically like living fungus, and they have this weird connection with like what powers all the psychic stuff in Warhammer, where if enough of them think something is true, then it is true. Like their vehicles are just like hobbled together piles of shit, but all of the boys think that it's going to work, so it works. But if anybody else tries to work it, that shit does not work at all. And I say boys because their like base infantry unit is actually called a boy. Like they're hilarious. If you wanted to look into some of the funniest orcs out there, look at Warhammers.
So that sounds right up our alley. If we believe something is true, it is true, and we do spread false information.
Yes, unlike
and
Noob.
No one likes to slap things together that are usually piles of shit.
Yes, this happens, but you know what? Sometimes it come up on top. But the big story that came out of the Warhammer camp recently was this new Paragon Warsuit from Sister of Battle. Is this like a big thing in the Warhammer universe, or
We're just
heard of
huge.
this.
We're just trying to get to the nuns part, Scott.
So
are you into
I gotcha.
nuns in mech suits?
So that's what,
Does
and that's
that
what they
turn
are.
you
They're
on?
nuns. They're nuns in Iron Man suits.
Yeah, nuns in power armor that just love to burn shit. So they're part of the ecclesiarchy, which is like the religious wing of like mankind at that point. And they were created because like back in the day, they had like a militarized insurrection against the Imperium. And the Imperium told them, listen, no man can ever raise a weapon for the ecclesiarchy again. So they said, all right, fine, we'll make an army of women. And that power suit is huge for like the model fans right now, because it's like the first time Games Workshop actually got like the anatomy right, where like it would actually, like if you were to put a human in there and draw like a physical human in it, it fits. But yeah, they just got like a plastic release for the first time ever, and it was like a huge deal for Warhammer. Like they just revamped the whole army.
So, but you're saying this then is the lead into that Warhammer porn that Noob was talking about earlier.
Yeah, them and the Eldar. Everybody always loves talking about the big titty Eldar girlfriend.
Hey, got my
Now
attention.
you're getting our interest.
Scott, do you have your ma dress up like a space nun and spank her?
I'm gonna say that.
No, she can't stand when I talk about this.
Isn't there like a god emperor? Is that from this?
Yeah,
Is that from-
this is where a lot of the God Emperor jokes come from. But the funny thing is, like, he's basically just a desiccating corpse that sits on a throne and like protects Earth from just getting overrun with demons from the warp. And they keep him alive by sacrificing like 1,000 psychic powered individuals almost a day.
Well,
Cam, it's
yeah.
interesting how we dip in and out of interest with this conversation. The game sounds impressive. The game sounds impressive as hell, and I guess this Warhammer, this new melee Paragon Warsuit thing, is a huge deal for those the gaming community.
Are you in, Scott? That was the question that formed all of this.
So now that I found out,
in?
now that I found out that we have nuns swinging hammers, I am kind of interested, to tell you the truth. I have an interesting history with nuns. I do not need to get into that right now, but it does have a. But I mean, the patience to paint these things, and like I said, Cam, we're looking at some of the pieces you've done. I mean, here's Jason with a flamethrower. It's Space Jason with a flamethrower, actually.
That's one way of describing
yeah,
it.
that's one of my favorite models I did.
So, how long does it take you to paint one of these guys?
So it really depends on the size and how much effort I want to put into it. But it can vary anywhere from about like 2.5 hours to like a solid 8 to 10.
Well,
per model.
I have the one right here. It looks like it's maybe a space orc or something with a sword, and we can see your thumb holding it. That thing is tiny.
Yeah. Oh, so that one's actually from the fantasy war game that the same company makes. I'm just starting a new army for that. That's a Idenith Deepkin, and they're basically sea elves.
So
I
basically,
see a clamshell.
Yeah, but you're sitting there with like those big like nerd glasses that help you see real small. And
I do have a set of them, but I didn't need them, and I ended up with it's tough because like there's a lot of nook and crannies, and like getting into areas trying not to get paint on other areas really sucks sometimes, but it's kind of cathartic. Like I can just throw on like a podcast or some music or something on the TV and just kind of space out and get some painting done and relax.
You mean like the podcast of Our Reviews Will Kill You?
Yeah,
What a great joke that was.
Not if you're trying to relax.
Yes, we are very cathartic and very relaxing. So Scott's in. You're going to have a new battle with Scott. He'll dress like a nun while he paints his nun characters.
Actually, no. What I'm going to do
he'll be there.
I'm going to hire Cam
Ready
to
for
paint
battle.
these things for me, because there's no way I'd have the patience to sit there and paint one of these things. These things are insane.
There's a lot of people that do commission painting out there.
All right, maybe I'll learn to paint and start doing that, because there's a new way to make some money.
Yeah, Scott
There you
needs a
go.
job, so sure. Let's.
This is a full-time
that to
job
your
taking care of
resume.
you two assholes. So, well,
Why? I think we've 40K'd ourselves out.
that we have. Cam, thank you very much. I mean, the big question was, what the hell is Warhammer? Thank you for explaining that. I do know what it is now, at least.
Also,
so at least
who
there's
the
that.
fuck is Cam?
And
He's
and
a
now-
Warhammer
And
expert.
what is Warhammer?
Cam's a Warhammer expert, and Cam's now the reason that I'm into nuns with hammers.
World
I'm
of
gonna-
Warhammer.
Hey, you check out their whole line, man. They've got a lot of awesome looking nuns in there. But hey, thanks for having me, and always happy to talk to anybody about Warhammer.
Thank you, Cam.
Well, maybe we'll do another podcast, another channel somewhere. We'll just talk about Warhammer all the time.
Straight Warhammer.
Oh, bro, I could go for 3 hours, and you wouldn't even cover half of it.
Please don't.
Noob Noob will be there.
Noob will be there. We got a new specialty thing. Cam, thank you very much for joining us, bud. I do miss you out there. You know, be safe.
Same.
You know, and
You too, man.
you know,
And
take it
thanks
easy,
again for
bud.
having me. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Later.
Goodbye, kind stranger.
Kind stranger who gave Noob Noob lots of information about things he's not patient enough to do.
I think I passed out
You
a
don't
little
like
bit.
sci-fi. You don't like nuns. You don't like just barely like orcs because you're a troll.
Yep.
I mean,
Still
I'll-
not 100% sure who Cam was.
I
You
mean,
don't
I'll
need
tell
to
you
know.
what. It doesn't matter that you know who he was and who he wasn't, but I am glad I brought him because I had no clue what this thing was before, and now I
You
do.
know now,
No clue.
and knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle for a game that I will never.
So next,
Never
next,
play.
and the next,
And next, but hey,
And next.
speaking of phone
and
calls,
next.
speaking of someone on the phone,
Angry phone calls.
We
Yes,
do
that's all
have-
we take all day.
we do have a couple voicemails that we got recently. I was going to get to him earlier, but I wanted to get to Cam so he can get off the phone so he can stop listening to us. But I do have a couple voicemails to play. Let's go ahead and take a quick listen and see what we have.
You heard of Three Stooges, but you guys are the three fucking pussies. Man up and get that shit done. Chip challenge.
Chip challenge.
So that was the first one, and here's number 2.
Drain and I would like to say, fuck you pussies. Get the chip challenge done, you Three Stooges, pussies.
West Side.
And have a good
West
show.
Side. West Side.
That one, that voicemail actually came in moments before the show started. Thank you for calling in there. And yes, we know we are sitting on a bunch of those death chip
They
things,
don't expire, so we're all good.
Are you sure
But-
the food?
but we do have to because
Dude.
what we do we're gonna have Z and Noob Noob come over to the Scott Will Kill You studios. We're gonna do it here in the Scott Will Kill You kitchens, and I'm gonna trademark the entire thing.
Your ma's kitchen.
And we're gonna-
Ma's kitchen.
And we're gonna do the whole thing here. We just need to pick the night, and that's gonna be on you guys. And Doc, you know how to get a hold of Z.
He wants to
Get-
live stream. He wants
on-
us to live stream it specifically for you.
Exactly.
Doc.
Get
So
on
we'll
get on his
there.
shit because we need to figure out what night. Yep. We know that voice. We got to figure out what night we're doing that because we're gonna live stream that. We got to get people in place for that. So, with that in place and all the phone calls out of the way, we'll move on to the next story. Now, guys, I want to be careful with this story because if you say the wrong thing,
I do not want to get killed, Scott.
we may not come back. But this comes out of Russia.
Mother Russia.
Mother Russia. And apparently, Vladimir Putin, I mean, are we surprised that he's doing well? But he's doing extremely well.
I will say right off the bat that Vladimir Putin
What is
denies
this?
owning this and has no connection to this glorious estate that he lives at.
That's in Russia?
Whenever he feels like it. It's on the Baltic Sea, yes.
Oh my god. In Russia.
I don't know exactly what country it is, but it's definitely something.
It's in
So-
a country.
So basically, yes, of course, we know that Putin's going to deny that he has such an opulent place. But the story is that Alexei Navalny, gentleman over in Russia, who I'm not sure why he's in jail, but he's doing a 30 jail
He's a
stint.
dissident.
For
He's a
pro-
dissident.
He's a dissident. He's a dissident. We will not
And-
agree with him.
Well, he was in England and he was poisoned by the KGB.
Well,
So he-
allegedly, because
That was not proven.
Putin had said that he denies the poisoning, and he said that Russian agents would have finished the job if they had wanted him dead.
I kind of agree with that. So
I also agree with that. But what's impressive is there's a couple features of this that I mean, are just completely breathtaking. Of course, they have a champagne room with a stripper pole.
Get the F out of here.
That's
First
fake.
of all, you did say the agents took
That
pictures
is
of
also
this
not in there.
from they used a drone to get drone footage of this. So if you want to look it up, you'll be able to see
property.
It's a $5.34 billion estate, correct?
And here we have some video of said property. It is lavish. It's huge. It apparently has a hockey rink. It has a hockey rink in the basement, which
That's not real.
I could not. No, this is
real.
this is computer generated recreations of the property.
This is not the
This sounds completely
Okay,
false.
well, sure.
Apparently, but this is footage from the documentary that got Alexei Navalny in trouble in the first place. This is what's going around. This is the video that everybody's watching. This is the one that racked up over 100 million views and led to tens of thousands of people taking the streets demanding Alexei's freedom.
Okay.
This Italian-style palazzo has an underground ice rink, a casino, a swimming pool, a theater, and whatever an aqua disco is.
I need 2 aqua discos to feel complete. Did you get the price tag? I thought it was $5.34 billion for this estate.
Between the estate and all the property that was inside, all the furniture inside it, we're talking about multiple hundreds of billions of dollars.
Hundreds of billions.
No,
Yes.
I saw it was 5.34. We'll go with that number.
I'm going to stick with hundreds of billions, of course.
Because you have a good concept of money. Yes.
Yes. Apparently, Navalny returned to Russia, where he was arrested from Germany after recovering from that nerve agent poisoning that
look
you were
at that
talking about.
stage.
Indoor stage and theater with complete theater seating.
Great googly moogly.
The seats are just these huge, lavish, round seats. I believe the next clip is going to be the game room or whatever that lounge is that they were talking about.
Game
where
room?
Where
we'll
is
see.
the Russian sex trafficking room?
What do you mean? The whole thing is for Russian sex trafficking. I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly. No, we do not confirm nor disavow. Let's skip around here a little bit and see. There we go. So here's that night stage area, which looks reminiscent of a strip club. I don't know why I'd say it looks reminiscent of a strip club, because in the moment you'll see the pole raise out of the stage.
Oh no! It
Yes,
does.
as
That is,
steam,
and
as the platform
girl
rises
goes down
and the
stage.
pole rises.
The pole it rises.
But we don't know what that pole would be for. It has its own
Christmas trees,
casino.
Scott.
Gambling. This place is in
Christmas trees.
effing sane.
Where's
So-
the whole reason why I thought you'd be interested in this was the indoor hockey rink.
I can't find any images of the indoor hockey rink, and I was trying.
It doesn't exist.
That absolutely piqued my interest, and I cannot find anything about the indoor hockey rink.
Because I feel like he's the best hockey player since Wayne Gretzky, if not better than Wayne Gretzky.
Sidney Crosby?
They have Dance
No,
Dance Revolution
Vladimir
there.
Putin.
Vladimir Putin played hockey?
Oh,
Yes,
he's
he
the greatest
actually-
hockey player of all time.
Oh my
He
God.
still plays hockey, and if anyone skates or checks him, they die automatically. That's how amazing a hockey player is. That if anybody makes contact with him, they die.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Why is there a casino in the house?
Why wouldn't there be a casino?
What, do you win your own money back?
Yes.
Okay.
You've never just played for fun.
Nope.
You
for
never
chips?
but you never sat around with friends and gambled and played
For
like
chips and chips?
strip poker. I mean, not strip poker.
Oh my God! There's a Warhammer 40K table.
There it is. He's got the whole setup and everything. Him and Cam are probably painting these pieces
Actually, Cam
together.
Newton's
It's
house, wasn't it?
This is Cam Newton's
Oh
house.
my God.
What
Cam
is
Newton
Cam-
has a Vladimir Putin fetish.
He certainly does.
so,
So yeah.
Okay.
There are rumors allegedly that Vladimir Putin is the richest man on earth.
I wouldn't say those are rumors. I'd say that's absolutely a possibility. Probably true as hell.
Yes. So he's doing good for himself.
But
He
yes.
probably put half of his money into GameStonk.
But of course, he denies any allegations that he has that property, that's his. But it's stirring up.
Retainer.
It's stirring up. Like I said, that video is viewed over 100 million times, and there's thousands of people that are now protesting that Alexei be released from jail. So it's causing a little stir over there. But I mean,
Yes,
allegedly, of course, allegedly. I don't want to be poisoned in my sleep.
Mm-mm.
So
Not at all.
Speaking of poisoning, let's talk about Tom Brady
Let's talk about
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
and
Tommy.
his minions.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Why is he making out with a
What is
minion?
this?
So apparently, the Minions' official account, because they were getting ready to advertise for their next movie, tweeted this image here, which is Tom Brady kissing his kid. But of course, somebody photoshopped the kid's head into a Minion's head. The tweet was later disappeared, but attached to that from the official Minions page was "Squeeze us like deflated football at Tom Brady."
Oh my god. Also, who kisses their kids with that much vigor? Like, look at that
Who doesn't
jawline.
kiss their kids?
Look
with
at that
much vigor?
jawline clenched.
Look how happy that minion looks.
Look at how much tongue Tom Brady was probably giving his kid.
And you know what?
Not giving his kid that
If
much.
that was Noob, he'd be just as happy, I'm sure.
Oh, I would.
Isn't this how you hug your mom every night?
I would let him lick my butthole if he was my father.
He already
Now we
does.
go there.
Of course. Where's the counter? I'm just saying that he this is how he makes it. Which is worse, him making out with his mom or his dad?
I don't.
Both.
Yeah, sure.
He's the equal opportunity offender.
I'd let him deflate my balls.
There you go. There you go, folks. So Tom Brady, yes, off to the. Is it still called the Super Bowl?
It is still.
Oh, I guess I didn't cover this story. I was gonna say all the sponsors are dropping out of it. By the way, Anheuser-Busch, like all the major sponsors,
Are they though?
they are. They
Are
dropped
they?
out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's not going to
Anheuser-Busch.
be a cute puppy commercial?
Nope, not at all.
That sounds sad.
Yes, very sad. Are you
Now,
watching?
But are they dropping out just because of like COVID times and shit like that, or is there another reason? Is it just the sign of the
A little
times?
bit of A column A, little column B. A, the ratings are down. B, a lot of people can't afford the commercials because of COVID times. The other thing is they're donating their time. So I will say Anheuser-Busch is supposedly donating their time for public
Actually, no.
safety
Actually, I did hear that it wasn't the time, but it would have been what they would have spent for the Super Bowl. Instead, they're putting that money towards vaccine and knowledge and research and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're turning their focus towards. Which, thank God. But I'm rather it goes there. I'm rather it goes there than to the Super Bowl.
Really? Because I think they're actually hedging their bets and putting all their money in GameStop stock.
In AMC theaters.
Well,
Everyone should buy AMC
Don't
theaters.
make any recommendations.
That's not a
no,
recommendation.
don't, because we're not there yet. But first, we're going to talk about Shin Ultraman, and I have no clue
Oh my god.
what Shin Ultraman is.
Do you know what Shin means?
That shitty?
That's
No.
Shin's
You
the area.
really- Mr. Japanese over here. You don't even know what Shin means?
No. It's
What
a
does
part-
Shin Godzilla mean?
part of
It's
your
the area above your foot and below your knee.
Right.
That is not what it means in Japanese.
What does it mean?
That is not the right Ultraman, is it? I think that's the wrong Ultraman.
Dude, I googled Shin Ultraman, and this is what I got.
Well, there's an official trailer, which is that one, which just released, which is there's going to be it was put together. I was actually thinking about having a reaction to this, like a trailer, because this is directed by the same team that did Shin Godzilla, which won the Japanese
You never
equivalent
told
of
the
the Oscar.
audience what shin means in Japanese.
It means the best, like
best.
most excellent.
So he's the
It's-
best Ultraman.
Yes, he is the greatest Ultraman or the greatest Godzilla. So
What did he do? He gave himself that title, or like does
no,
that?
I don't know. He didn't do it. The directors did. So the directors are the same directors as Shin Godzilla, which is also the director of Evangelion Neon Genesis. So it's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, Scott.
I know. What else is a big deal? We're about to have a battle in the chat room over Tom Brady.
Oh, geez. Is there a war going on in the chat about Tom Brady?
Apparently, GOAT doesn't mean greatest; it just means gayest of all time. But hey, this is I'm not
I'm the goat.
I'm not going to get involved in that battle. We're going to let that go on in the chat room for a little bit.
I'm the goat.
Oh,
He is
my
the goat.
gosh. I don't know what's going on. There's a full-on battle.
Someone can get my cheese.
So this dropped magically. Like, people didn't know. It's still in Japanese. They don't even know what they're saying in English. But it looks not as good as Shin Godzilla, but it looks exciting if you're an Ultraman fan. I'm more of a Godzilla person. But
Is this going to be what the same animation as the Godzilla series that just popped out, the 3-movie series?
no, this is live action.
Oh, okay.
This is live action. And there is also a Godzilla animated series coming, which looks really freaking cool. So I'm excited about that as well. So if you're a kaiju fan, which could lead us to the next breaking news, if you like, Scott. If you're into kaijus, it's full on kaiju. We've gone full on. Not only do you have Shin Godzilla, you have Godzilla versus
Which
Kong.
means monster.
You also have breaking news. They just announced Cloverfield 2.
They did. Oh my god. Oh, that's the kaiju. That's the kaiju.
Yes.
Is that?
You don't have
to put.
it's a breaking news.
Are they going to put said kaiju? Are they putting said kaiju in the Godzilla universe?
No, that would be in the Cloverfield universe, which they already had a Cloverfield 2.
10 Cloverfield Lane,
which was
like
not
a side story
connected to Cloverfield.
No, it was.
It was not connected.
It was sort of connected.
It was a random movie where they attached Cloverfield to it, or the Cloverfield Paradox.
I forgot
not a Cloverfield movie where they
existed.
just randomly attached Cloverfield to it for no good reason.
Wasn't that where...
This is another joke of a J.J. Abrams thing. He's trying to capitalize on the MonsterVerse.
That was the space Kraken came out of the wormhole or something, right? At the end?
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Looked
and then
cool.
they also had what was that one that was supposed to be connected, which wasn't too bad. The World War II movie with the weird zombie things that was supposed to be Underworld. No,
I know what you're talking about. It just never. Fuck.
But we watched it and reviewed it. What was it?
Shit.
It's not Underworld. It was like
shit. I have it. I'll have to look it home.
You should Google it.
What? Google what? Zombie movie?
What?
World War II zombie movie, and that's about as far as. As soon as you do that, you'll probably get it.
Just because we took away the responsibility of telling you what each story was, you don't even Google stuff now. You do nothing.
Basically,
I think it was
Overlord.
Overlord, that's it. Overlord was supposed to be a Cloverfield movie, but that's just J.J. Abrams jacking other movies and sticking in the Cloverfield universe. This one supposedly has the actual Cloverfield monster. So if you're into that kind of thing,
I mean, the Cloverfield monster was pretty dope.
It's all right. Weren't there a bunch of famous people in that first one?
Not like famous people.
They're kind of famous.
Lizzie Chaplin.
Yeah, Lizzie Chaplin.
Or Lizzie Kaplan. I think that's really the only.
No, there's somebody else in it too. And isn't the director somebody? I feel like he's somebody.
Let's see.
2008.
2008.
Wow, that was like 12 years ago. Holy cow.
Let's see. Who's in Cloverfield?
Oh, Matt Reeves is the
Annabelle.
director.
TJ Miller. Okay, so like semi-famous people.
Yeah, TJ Miller went on to call in bomb threats.
Yeah, TJ Miller is not fun.
He had a future there.
Yeah, Lizzie Kaplan, who's moderately
Odette
attractive.
Annabelle, who went on to star in House. Kinda.
House?
She was in House.
Was she?
I think so.
I don't think so.
In whose house?
Whose house?
Hugh Laurie's house.
Hugh Laurie's house? She did not star
She was in
House,
Supergirl.
That's a real step up for you.
That's very similar.
But Matt Reeves would probably be the most successful of those bunch, who is currently directing the new The Batman.
Yeah. Sam Jr. calls out TJ Miller in Deadpool, and I watched both Deadpools recently, and TJ Miller was the least funny part of both those movies.
Didn't they write him out of the second one quite a bit?
TJ Miller got murdered in a Transformers movie. That was fun.
That was fun.
He was in the second movie. He probably got written out of the third as they're doing it because of the bomb threats and all the other dumb shit that he did.
Something to do with his girlfriend. I don't know. He's a weirdo.
Yeah. It was he was getting back at his girlfriend by calling in a bomb threat on a train that she was on. And then they found out that it was just him trying to get her in trouble for being, a stupid cuck.
Oh,
so
right up Noob Noob's alley.
That's hot.
So if Noob Noob has nothing else to bring to this conversation, we're going to loop back around to a video I mentioned earlier tonight, which is up on our YouTube, about GameStop. But apparently, as I'm told, because I do not have information on this, there's more on the GameStonk whatever is going on.
Oh, like an update and a correction?
Yes, updates and corrections. So this is apologies and thank yous and sorries.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a correction. When we discussed the whole... We weren't trying because we did no research and don't know anything. But we referred to what was the short squeeze as a stay or a put, like an option that was purchased on GameStop. Our correction would be that it's actually a short, which means they borrowed money to purchase the stock at a lower price. Right?
We're going to give
that's
a full-on
terrifying.
financial.
No, we're not.
explanation.
We're just saying we said something wrong, and if you want more information, go to people who actually know what they're talking about because he is a financial nitwit, a professional.
Oh, I can
He's
explain
actually
it.
a PNC, a professional financial nitwit.
A
PFN.
professional noob cuck.
Yes. So
Yeah.
anyway, we don't know
Shut
anything
up,
about
Leslie.
anything. But what we do know is that the stock well, first of all, they had gotten shut down. Like if you were trying to buy it from
Robinhood
third parties like Robinhood and TD
locked their
Ameritrade,
shit down.
they locked it down so you couldn't buy it. You could only sell. And then they kind of let that go, but then you could only buy like 5 shares and limited it. It's basically bringing Wall Street to its knees, and there's like billionaires crying.
Went
I
up
saw-
67% today.
I saw the Barstool Sports, the 1 Minute Man, whoever that is on Barstool Sports. He had an outright rant about what Robinhood did and all those guys did was pretty much completely illegal, and all those guys should be locked up. It's caused a lot of problems for a lot of people.
I mean, the Wall Street people, just to give you a sense of perspective, because this story is like Wall Street stuff, so people don't really understand what's going on, and there's like the whole, even idiots are confused by it, but they were so like the head of the NASDAQ and like a bunch of other people have commented about it, and they were literally comparing it to the storming of the Capitol. That's how bad they think this is, where it's like a
that's
populist
terrifying.
movement
We gotta
of
take it to the moon.
Redditors taking the stock to the moon. Never stop. Go to the moon. Go to Mars. We're going to Mars next, baby.
To
We,
the moon.
as in you, the listener, not me, because I don't own any of that stock. And I'm not a hedge fund
Hold
person.
them gains.
Gotta get them gains.
Hold them gains. Don't
Gotta
sell.
get them gains. We sound like we've gone into full. Who's that Mad Money guy? We've
Jim Cramer.
We've gone totally off the rails. We don't know what we're talking
Fucking
about,
don't hold it.
but we apologize.
Do it all. Love it.
Don't
Go to
hold
the
that
moon.
stock.
Hold it.
Buy it
No.
right now.
Go to the moon.
It's
Take it to the moon.
falling. What do we know about this stock?
It's falling.
I don't know, but I'm going to play a bunch of gun noises because it's crazy.
Wah! Yeah. So either way, we're not planning on doing a
Oh,
follow-up
that's
video
terrifying.
because we tried to explain it in layman's terms, but we're too stupid to actually explain it in layman's terms.
And we did find out that at this point, you two are not laymen, so we're going to let that one go. But
Whoa!
we're
I do-
gaming.
Whoa!
I do know, like, and it's funny because looking at this, I'm like, man, I wish I had saw this. I wish I bought stock in GameStop, but I
We
don't.
never,
money,
but
Scott?
no, yeah. Well, A, what money, and B, no one would have bought money in GameStop. It's not a thing. This was
GameStop?
completely fabricated.
GameStop.
Yeah, like, but
GameStonk.
like I've always wondered about like putting money in stocks, like to try and do a portfolio and stuff, but I'm just too stupid to do that. And now, like in hindsight, it's like, well, I don't want to put money anywhere close to there now because the whole thing looks like it's a complete shit show.
It's a house of cards.
Do it.
Take
Believe
it to the
in
moon.
yourself.
No,
So
it's-
we can move
everything.
on from that. We can move
Instead,
on.
all my money goes into freaking film equipment. So that's
I thought
another
it meant booze.
that's another investment with zero fucking turnaround there. So
And whiskey.
Whiskey.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Why don't you invest in proper 12?
Don't do that
So,
either. I
Well,
mean,
we're not going to do that, and that is a teaser of what is coming up soon. But before we get to that, we have to get into our next segment, and that would be our outrageous news.
oh my God, we didn't even get to outrageous news yet.
It's now time for some outrageous foretales.
Well, into the reviews.
Our
Don't
first hour is brought to you by Warhammer, and they are a sponsor of ours.
Well,
So,
don't you worry about that. Someone here is watching the clock because you put someone in charge who knows what the F they're doing. We're
keep us
fine
on
on
pretty good
time.
track.
We don't have that many outrageous news stories, but the first outrageous story we have involves a mystery. Actually, I think this is Noob. Have we finally found footage of your mother?
Oh my God.
Mystery solved.
He
is a hairy beast.
African American. What is that?
What?
That's black. What do you mean? That's a black guy, isn't it?
Oh, keep going.
Seriously, I'm blind. I can't say is it not a darker individual?
That is not a person at all. That, in fact, is Bigfoot.
Oh my God.
And if you live in Oklahoma, you can actually you don't have to live in Oklahoma, but you can now buy a Bigfoot hunting season permit in Oklahoma.
So you can get a tag for Bigfoots.
So you can get a tag to hunt big feet, who seen here in a very poorly photographed picture. Why this guy's always out of focus, I don't know. But Oklahoma Representative Justin Humphrey introduced a bill to open licenses for Bigfoot hunting season. They will be regulated by the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission, and people are buying it. People are buying.
Be a PR stunt, right?
It's tourist. It's a tourist trap, is what it is. People are buying the license because they want to buy it. They want to frame it. He's trying to add into it that they're looking for a $25,000 bounty for trapping. It's only for trapping, not for killing. You cannot buy a license to kill Bigfoot. You can only buy a license to hunt and trap Bigfoot. But people are buying it, and it's a tourist thing. It's bringing more money into Oklahoma. It's actually a genius move. People are buying it, and they're framing it. It's not a bad idea. It's still funny.
Going to buy open season on Noob Noob's mom?
Oh my God!
I've already had open season on Noob Noob's mom, and I gave her back
$26.50.
And I gave it back.
I was gonna say, what is the price?
$26.50.
I actually was paid for. I was paid more for the return. Best investment ever. Immediately doubled my investment. I got paid twice as much to get rid of her.
I thought you were going to say that you doubled down because you took her for a ride twice.
45 minutes before Bootleg watching Bootleg says we had 45 minutes before a noob dumpster fire cutaway. That's a record for restraint on his part. Congratulations, noob. Let's see if we can find a way to get back to that dumpster fire. Let's talk about fat squirrels.
Oh my God!
Let's get there. Oh, that's a big boy.
That's a thick squirrel.
It's the thickest.
Where are his nuts?
He can't see his nuts anymore.
They can't.
He's so fat he can't see his nuts.
Can't see them. They're up inside. That's over the University of Michigan. Well, these squirrels have been around for a while. They're actually called fox squirrels. They're the largest tree squirrel in North America. They typically weigh between 1 and 2 pounds, but you see these big boys here.
That's a thick squirrel.
That squirrel is
three
good
C's.
5 pounds.
These big boys over here are a little more than they're 1 to 2 pounds. But it was this image that showed up on Twitter or Instagram as getting a ton of traction from the University of Michigan. The rest of the world is now learning about their fat squirrels.
If you were to have one pet, Scott, I'm pretty sure it should be this.
A fat squirrel, yeah. How come you don't have a fat squirrel?
I do have a fat squirrel. Just can't show it on YouTube or we'll get blocked.
Oh. Definitely hiding your nuts.
Oh my God! How much excess skin is down there?
Oh
Sam,
God,
that's a lot.
Sam Jr. saying these squirrels going to get revenge on Z. I don't think so. They're probably
that's right. They're too slow. The only squirrels that I fight are the quick ones. I'm looking at you, fat squirrels. You ain't standing a chance against me. Nice callback there, Sam Jr. That's a great callback.
Wait, what? We talked about squirrels before?
Yeah, don't you remember? I told my story about I told the story about my squirrel story.
Murdered your squirrels?
Yes. I
suppressed that story. Thank you for reminding me, Sam Jr. Yeah. I had totally put that out of my childhood memory, and now you've brought it back to surface. Start crying again. Oh God. So anyway, fat squirrels.
These fat squirrels would definitely float in a bucket. They would not drown. So
they would not. They would float in the drowning bucket. Okay, that is a pretty traumatizing story. I'm so glad we brought that back to the surface.
We brought that back around. That way we know Z. That way. Z's not sleeping tonight. Thankfully, Newman will be there to cuddle him as well.
I wonder if Z was actually the squirrel and that guy hit his nuts.
I'm surprised we never pulled that for like a short clip about the trauma of squirrel drowning.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of clips that need to be pulled and put up on our channel, but I just don't have the time for it. So there.
Yes. Too much time.
So much
trying to beat the squirrel at how many nuts you can eat.
What sound effect does that see?
Gobbling nuts.
you're gobbling those nuts. Is that what you're busy doing?
Trying to get on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
You just know what that sounds like. That's actually really impressive.
Oh my god, that's
Oh,
basically,
yeah, I
oh my god,
noticed.
that's like an Oprah Winfrey squirrel.
Oh my god, it is.
Will
God.
you still make that noise when you're faced with a zombie raccoon?
Oh my god,
That is
isn't that just Rocket Raccoon?
that is just fierce.
That is a fierce looking raccoon. But this story comes out of New Orleans.
Now,
Apparently, walkers are coming across zombie raccoons.
Oh my god, that raccoon looks like he is ready to rape.
He's not a zombie raccoon. He put on his rape boots today.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
He did. He put he put on his rape boots.
Someone needs to like put the zombie raccoon and the fat squirrel in the room together and just see
Who wins?
Oh my god.
Who could take the most?
Wow.
Who could bury the most nuts?
Seriously, why is there a raccoon standing on two legs?
You two are on a roll.
Where
The
is this
reason
raccoon
why-
penis?
They're not actually zombies. What's happening is in New Orleans, they're having sick raccoons. They have a disease called canine distemper.
Oh,
Which
it's
is-
not an opioid crisis amongst the raccoons.
It is not. It is not a raccoon opioid crisis. It is actually
I
a
thought it was.
disease which they are contracting in the wild. It makes them lethargic. It gives them seizures and runny noses and disorientation.
Running
nooses. What?
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
understand why runny noses is one of the symptoms that they called out for these poor raccoons. We're talking about they're lethargic, they have seizures, they're disoriented, and their noses run.
It's one of the symptoms, Scott.
Apparently, it's one of the symptoms. It's one of them that they called out. But the
They should
problem
get
is,
COVID tested. I mean, COOF tested.
COOF
I mean,
tested.
vaccine.
the problem is that because they have this disease, they're seeing them in the daytime. We know raccoons normally a nocturnal animal, and there is a danger to people out walking their dogs, and there's a danger to the dog if it drinks out of the same puddle as a infected raccoon, or if it eats infected raccoon poop. But there is
Weren't
a
there people
shot, there is a
walking
vaccine for your dog to get to protect against canine distemper.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought.
What if he's just horny?
I mean, he looks a little horny. that raccoon looks like he's a little randy, for sure.
Oh,
How
my
do you know
God.
his name?
Haha, yes. Badumch. Scott jokes.
Well, and it was a good one. And to continue
Oh, dear God, there's more.
and continue the laughing and the fun and the joy that we're having, that's it for our Orc Tales. I said it was a quick one. Let's move on to reviews.
Formito Pupan.
Tonight, you.
For me to stunk on.
I was impressed by that one. I held that for a while.
It was almost musical, Scott.
It was. I think it was. It was really musical. But you know what else has a theme that we're familiar with, and music we're familiar with? That would be Jurassic World and a show that they have on Netflix called Camp Cretaceous. Season 2 was just released, following, of course, Season 1 as it naturally would. And I watched this. Z, did you watch this?
No, because I didn't watch season 1, and I don't know. I just feel tainted by the whole Jurassic Park world, especially since Colin Trevorrow said that Dominion will close out the series. I did hear, though, that this show will have some sort of connection to the newest movie, Dominion. So, spoilers? Is there some sort
Is
of
it that there's
connection?
dinosaurs in both?
Is it there? Yeah. Do dinosaurs escape the park? I'm not sure about this one.
It's kind of the same old story when it comes down to it. In Season 1, the dinosaurs escaped the park, of course. This movie actually was not connected to the other Jurassic World movies in the fact that it didn't have the same characters and it didn't have the same stupidity as the movies did. It actually was a cute story. It is a cute story about a group of campers that get caught in Jurassic World after the collapse happens, of course, and their survival and attempt to get off said island.
Their
It's
diversity and inclusion protects them from the dinosaurs.
Yes, that there is diversity and inclusion, and that is one of the storylines, of course, as it should be, since it's a kids show and it's teaching kids things and life lessons and how to survive a raptor attack.
Stay away from dinosaurs.
Stay away from dinosaurs, of course, but it's not a horrible cartoon. It's cute. It does its job. This first season ended on a cliffhanger. Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger. It's not a horrible series. I actually enjoyed it. It's not made for grown men, but we also know that I'm not a grown man.
Do any children get eaten?
Yes.
Oh,
no, they don't.
Then I might be interested.
Well,
or are they eaten and then regurgitated and they never actually died?
Not the primary 5. The primary 5.
Wow.
And that was spoiler. Spoiler. But not the primary 5. None of the primary 5 get eaten. But yes, multiple people, multiple tourists, multiple characters do get eaten in this cartoon. But of course, it's because it's a cartoon. They don't show said eating. It's all, of course, insinuated.
That's intense. It got some good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, 86% audience score and 75% tomato meter.
I've heard good things, and Scott's said good things about it, so it must be good.
It's a good cartoon. It's something that, you know what, you can sit down and watch with your kids. Like I said, I enjoyed watching it, so I'm sure like your kids will like this, and you can sit there and watch it with them as well. Something to bond with, because we all know you hate your kids.
Whose kids?
Parents in general. Like that's kind of like a general thing. Like I know
noobs, random spawn.
Yes,
nobody truly loves their children. They just find some way to pass the time with them. Jurassic World. This cartoon is a good way to pass the chime with your kids that you hate and despise.
I will pass the chime every time.
They will be blown away with how much you hate your kids.
Just blown away.
If we're not talking about, we went through the ratings and stuff on that, so let's go ahead and use Noob's transition and talk about being blown away.
I mean, there's not a ton to review this week, folks. We have to be frankly clear with you.
There's just not a lot. There's just wasn't a lot.
HBO a kid's show about dinosaurs and a show about making glass. Like, there's not a lot going on here. Just letting you know.
HBO's doing a movie a week, and I don't even know what they did last week.
Yes. We'll have to give you a proper review a little bit later. All right. But let's talk about Blown Away. I'm looking at the Netflix score. It's like the number 2 or 3 show on Netflix right now, isn't it? Or is it
it's just new episodes probably came out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. There's something about
blowing glass.
Something about blowing glass that I just find very attractive.
What? You're attracted to blowing glass?
And Mr. Glass loves you for that. I went to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair a while ago, and they have one of those booths set up where they have glass blowing, and we sat there and we watched, and they did a whole presentation and stuff. It's actually pretty damn cool, and I don't have it in this room here with me, but I have some of the glasses and stuff that I got from said glass blowing location. It's some cool stuff.
Oh, Scott, I've blown my own glass.
I've just blown.
I didn't bring any of it for anything to show you, but I have blown glass.
I didn't know you were that flexible. Why don't, when you finally come over here to do the Hot Chip Challenge, which we need to get done, bring your blown glass, and we'll have that, and we'll have my glasses.
No way I'm transporting my blown glass over to you.
And we'll have the glass that I got from the glass blowing place, and we'll drink from them as we do said challenge.
Mine is art. It is not meant to be drank.
Oh, you got the glass dildo.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't go like that, but
I understand. All right, that's fine. I understand why you don't want to bring that over. That's okay.
So anyway, this show,
you blow a lot of things.
I do like artisans at work. As you may know, I am a big fan of Forged in Fire, and there's just something cathartic about seeing artisans work their craft. And when they're working that glass and they're stretching it and they're blowing it, it just is very satisfying.
I like to be stretched and blown.
There is something oddly relaxing about watching people creating things with glass.
Yeah, I think it's cool. There's a lot, people like fire. Fire's cool, and making works of art is always cool. It's a little subjective, But it's amazing some of the stuff they do, and I recommend it. I think it's an amazing show. I caught season 1. I'm pretty sure I reviewed and recommended that. Season 2 is excellent as well. Apparently, the tomato meter doesn't know. This is I can't.
I mean,
believe
there's
this.
no number on how many reviews, so it might be
there's
one
no way
review.
to tell. It could just be one dopey person.
And then audience score of 26%.
Yeah, like it's season 1, or I guess season 2 doesn't have like official reviews yet, but season 1 is 100% with the critics, 26% with the audience. I highly disagree. I will also say that Force and Fire is now on Netflix, and that was in their top 10 for quite a while. So clearly there is a place for these type of shows.
It's an outrage.
I hate competition shows in general. I hate singing competition shows. Things that are super subjective, like singing. But when you see like craftsmanship done where people actually have physical manual skills, I think there's something to be said for that. And then, that's why I like Force and Fire and like the Knife or Death show. So I don't know. I think they're really good. I recommend them. You should check them out. It's a nice way to cool down.
There is something also like mind bending about knowing that that's glass, like that. The solid object that shatters when you drop it actually becomes bendable and pliable and like putty at some temperature. That's actually like mind-blowing.
Ron Cole, the Stone Cold Killer, asked about the Curse of Oak Island. I have heard good things about it, and I do love a good treasure hunt. The only thing that I don't know about that is, to me, it seems like a little fake news. Because, I just find it hard to believe that these guys are actually finding anything. I don't know. I don't believe that much stuff on the History Channel because they have such a bad reputation for having fake shows like Pawn Stars. And what's the one where they used to dig through people's they would take people's storage units, Storage Wars.
Like Storage
those shows
Wars.
were
Is that auction thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, like those shows are all fake. So I struggle to believe things. I did watch numerous YouTube reviews of Force and Fire where the competitors have literally said like what you see on the show, while it is a edited version of what you see, there's no trick to it. They're literally there just making stuff. And if somebody doesn't finish their knife, they're done. And, they do like the producers and stuff will ask you questions and they'll prompt you with things, but there's no influence through it. Like what you see is what you get. So I do not like shows that are not 100% real. And I struggle to believe that The Curse of Oak Island is a real show, but many people will argue with me ad nauseum for hours about this. So I don't want to get too far into it, but I do appreciate you bringing up Ron the Stone Cold Killer.
Oh, I mean, and it is funny that people actually do believe that reality TV is real because, certain shows have different levels, but when it comes down to it, reality TV isn't real. Come on. We have to accept that. We have to realize that and just, come on, people. This is.
Some shows are kind of like, what's like a show like Wipeout where
Keeping
people
up with the Kardashians seems pretty realistic.
Seems pretty realistic that those are scumbags that should be banned.
100% realistic. Those people are completely unscripted. They're not told what to say at any time, and everything you see on that show is completely natural.
The Bachelor? Oh my God, I love it.
Yes. Another one where every winner of that show has gone on to live a long and happy married life with many, many children that they're probably watching Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous with.
And hoping they get eaten.
None of that happens.
Yes. So. Apparently we have a request for an OnlyFans site where Scott brings squirrels. I don't know what he'll do with them.
Squirrels like Scott's Tots.
Scott's Tots and Scott Squirrels.
Well, if people are willing to pay, then we'll see what we can make happen. But let's do something.
Living off of it, he'll do anything.
That's right. If I get paid, hey, I'm a whore. I can say it. I'm fine with that. I got no problem saying that. But we're actually going to do something different here on Our Reviews Will Kill You, and it's in honor of a man who was sleepy and felt like he needed to take a nap.
So sleepy, so tired.
Conor McGregor had a fight recently. It did not go in his favor, from what I hear.
And see.
Noob
Not-
watched
I
it.
did watch it. Yeah.
He saw it.
You
Call it
spent
Best book.
$200 on a 7-minute fight.
$200. First off, I didn't buy it, and second off,
Mm.
I think it's like $70 or something. It's not $200.
Yeah, I think it was like $70,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
$70.
Either way, $70 and a round and a half, and Conor McGregor, the angry Irish.
Yeah, there's 5 fights.
There's 5 fights.
Oh well, but was anyone watching for any of his other fights?
Some of the other fights were okay. The co-main event wasn't bad.
All right.
So, yeah. The Conor McGregor fight was a little dumb because he got his ass beat from not training properly like an idiot. So,
Well, I mean, you know,
Like
he's
with the last 3 fights.
well, no, because he beat the one dude in like 15 seconds.
Who was that?
Some old white dude.
Okay, so a tune-up
Jake
fight.
Paul.
Yeah.
It was like Jake Paul or something, wasn't it?
No, it was Donald Cerrone. He was like,
Oh, no.
he's basically retired.
Oh, Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I heard that. I heard
lost.
now Jake Paul. As soon as he got knocked out, Jake Paul was talking trash on him. Like no,
He dropped. They had offered him. He was trying to work out a fight for $50 million, where he would pay Conor $50 million out of the purse to fight him, and he immediately dropped it to $25 million after he got TKO'd.
dude. Jake Paul would still get murdered.
I don't actually believe that because Jake Paul's actually boxed real people, and Conor McGregor boxed one of the greatest boxers of all time, but couldn't even gas with that guy. So I actually, as much as I don't like that guy, I actually think that he would beat Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor clearly doesn't know how to train against anybody.
No, he has the worst cardio of all time.
Yeah, he has terrible cardio, and if you just work him, that the difference is boxing. You actually have to you have to have some sense of, there has to be skill to it. And if you could avoid damage from the other guy, especially somebody like McGregor who has no gas tank and is clearly just trying to knock people out, there's just nothing there. You know, the guy's done as far as I'm concerned. He's done.
Isn't that actually how this guy beat him? Like the guy boxed him out or something?
He techniqued him out. He took his lead leg and was chopping it the whole time, right?
The end he was losing. Conor McGregor won the first round, but the other guy, Dustin Poirier, took out his left leg or lead leg where it was basically dead. So he couldn't even put any pressure on it. He realized that and just beat the shit out of him after that.
He couldn't he couldn't stand anymore.
Yeah.
His leg swelled up real bad and was gross.
And once he couldn't stand, he realized that and just started punching him in the face, and he couldn't basically brace himself. So yeah, he lost.
And that's how he wound up in this compromising position that we see on the screen here.
Yes.
And then he got snuggled by
Because
Bernie.
he didn't have enough of his proper 12.
But in honor of said image that we're looking at the screen here, we do want to go over to whiskey that he advertises. It's called Proper 12 Whiskey. We've seen
He's the owner.
we've seen Conor McGregor in multiple commercials with this. Is this a whiskey he owns, or he is just
No,
paid to
he
advertise it?
He owns it like Ryan Reynolds owned Aviation Gin.
Owned.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, true.
I mean, I went ahead and I got myself a bottle as well today, since that's what we're doing. I put on the autofocus camera so I can do stuff like this. Look at that.
Well, look at that. Since Proper 12 probably just lost half of its value, we'll give it a good taste test. But what we're going to compare it against
Is the
is
shittiest of
this.
shit.
This is
Old Crow.
Look at the autofocus on that.
There we go. There's some autofocus for you.
Yeah.
Or
Sort of focus.
A 13-gallon bottle is
13-gallon
$10.
bottle is $10. This is one step up from bottom shelf.
I could also do that. There's actually, no, we'll go back to the other screen here. We're going to do our side by side for this. So in the Our Reviews Will Kill You studio, in the OrkU studios over there, you have a bottle of Proper 12 and you have a bottle of Old Crow, the gallon bottle of Old Crow. Let's see that again.
1.75.
Over here in the Scott Will Kill You studios, I have the bottle of Proper 12, and then I have the gallon bottle of Jameson, because that's how I roll.
Okay. So you went upscale. We went downscale.
You went downscale. So let me tell you this. So the Proper 12 was a $30 bottle. The bottle of Jameson, which is twice as big, was $50.
That's kind of
The same price point, though. Jameson's usually $31 and Proper 12's $30. So it's
for the same size bottle, that's fine. But that's why you get the bigger bottle, because in the end, it's absolutely some savings.
Mm-hmm.
When you drink that much, yes.
So we're going to do a little bit of each, and we'll give you our reviews, which will kill you. Get your little glass out. What are we going with first?
You guys are setting this up. I'm opening this bottle for the first time here, which I didn't plan ahead on this. I don't know how difficult this is going.
Noob wants to do proper 12 first.
He wants to do proper 12 first. Well, I've been drinking Jameson all night. I know what Jameson tastes like. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is the first time I open the bottle.
Well, I guess we'll do...
It doesn't have any standing out aroma. There's something special about it. But I did bring out with me my special sifting glass for this taste test.
Smells like a nice woodsy...
Smells like really...
Smells good.
Dry dog
kidding
shit.
me? Noob has a shot glass from Iowa. I have a shot glass from the CIA headquarters, which was actually purchased at the CIA gift shop.
There's cows.
Inside the CIA headquarters. Who else can say that they did that?
So you're going... So this is what? This is the Old Crow you're starting with?
Starting with the bottom shelf.
Okay, well, let's go ahead, because I'll tell you what, while you guys are pouring that, I'll tell you I've been drinking Jameson all night. I normally drink Jameson all the time. We all know what Jameson tastes like. It is the upper echelon of Irish whiskey. This is what Irish whiskey is based off of, is Jameson. It's actually brewed in Ireland and made there. And you don't need me to explain to you what Jameson tastes like.
It is aged for a full 3 years in new charred white oak barrels in Kentucky. Maybe.
It's Kentucky bourbon.
Is it though? It's Dr. James Crow's Old Crow.
Why don't you guys go ahead and let us know what Old Crow tastes like? Go ahead and throw that back. You seem kind of hesitant there. Noob sniffing it. He's taking it up to his nose right now, and they're both throwing it back at the same time.
It's not bad.
Oh, that burns.
Doesn't burn.
It doesn't burn. Noob, okay. You're just a pussy. We know that. It doesn't burn.
It does have a little sweetness to it.
It has like a hint of that, that charred white oak, and it's got like a little sweetness to it, just a tiny bit.
It's got a little sweetness on the back
end of the
palate.
Goes down warm. It's not bad. It's all right.
It's not as unpleasant as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I believe it's also known as Tennessee tea, according to Jay Bird. Bootleg is asking, what the hell is that box wine excuse of a whiskey? Are you talking about...
This is the reason why we got this, though, was to compare it to Proper 12.
Bootleg, are we talking about Proper 12, or are we talking about the Old Crow that these guys just went ahead and threw back?
I would think he's talking about Old Crow. And,
so not horrible. We see that Noob, of course, has a bit of a burning reaction, which Noob's used to burning reactions, of course. It's something he's familiar with. Yes.
His nose is going to rot off.
I looked up some Old Crow reviews, and they're actually fairly positive.
Look at that, 4.5 stars.
Without a doubt, this is the very best value in Kentucky bourbon on the market.
Wow.
Just like Evan Williams, this is a good bourbon at a lower price that won't make you feel like death. I guess that's true.
See?
It is really cheap.
It's really cheap.
It's a good mixer whiskey.
It's good for mixing.
True. For low end, for mixing whiskey, absolutely. I don't like to mix my Jameson. I drink that neat. We already know that. Jay Bird's in the chat. He's saying Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels, I like. Jack Daniels is another mixing whiskey, although Jack Daniels Gentleman is something that I'll go to from time to time. That's also a very nice, straight-up drinker for me. I'll drink that neat. Bootleg is saying the box wine excuse of whiskey is Old Crow. Bootleg.
It's a comparison.
We're using Old Crow to compare to Proper 12. And of course, I'm not buying Old Crow. I'm going to stick to my Jameson.
It smells pretty sweet too.
Give it a little sippy sip.
It smells sweet.
Well, let's see what the flavor palette is supposed to be.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to go head over to my Jameson. My Jameson, we all know already, is a nice smoky whiskey. We all know what Jameson tastes like. But while these guys are pouring their shots of Proper number 12...
What's made in Ireland?
I'm going to share with you guys the proper way of tasting this. And this is normally something we reserve for Scotch, but we'll do it with whiskey tonight, is you have to get a properly shaped glass to capture the aromas. Sift it around in said glass, as you see on the screen there. See if it sticks to the sides, which this does not. This is a very thin whiskey. It does have a nice amber flavor, amber color, but it does not stick at all. It doesn't have any body to it. It's very watery. There seems to be nothing really to it.
Is this the Proper 12 you're talking about?
This is the Proper 12. We're going
I
to go
will
ahead, and what you have to do is you have to take a sniff of it. You have to take in the aroma of it.
I like the smell better than the Old Crow, if I'm being honest.
The smell, there's not a lot of smell to this. There's not. I mean, if you're a bourbon whiskey or a bourbon drinker and a Scotch drinker, there's not much smell to this. And I'm digging into that deep. Those two just went ahead and took a shot of it. I'm going to take a sip, as I usually do with my whiskeys.
Smoother.
Is it though?
It's bland. It's like a bland, smooth
I
whiskey.
mean, it's like weak.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. I actually tasted
soft.
nothing.
It's like loser juice.
Yeah, it tastes like a knocked out Irishman.
Oh my god.
Does it? That's a weird taste. I was
I'm
going to say.
gonna have to talk to me ma about this.
You're going to have to talk to me, man. See what she has to say about this.
No, I mean
Not horrible. It's just not
bland.
great.
no, it's bland. There's nothing
worth-
to it. Like
It's not worth $30.
I'm swishing it around. I'm trying to get some flavor out of it. Jay Bird is saying shots are for pussies. Noob, tilt the bottle.
Oh
There's
my god.
there's nothing to this. There's no flavor.
I don't really like the aftertaste is kind of bland too. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not impressed.
No, it leaves a nasty aftertaste. There's no smoky, there's no flavor, there's nothing that you want from your whiskey in this bottle.
There's a little hint of sexual assault in it
Well, and elder abuse.
and elder abuse.
Yeah.
And throwing
Has
chairs
a
and
little
tables.
elder abuse on the nose.
Little
There's
No.
a whole bunch of reviews on this, but the main gist of it is that it is bland and unflavorful. And then some people are like, "Oh, it's not that bad."
It's not bad, but it's not great.
I wouldn't say this one review is like very smooth and great whiskey for the price. I would not agree with that one.
No, definitely not. So I'm looking at the back of the bottle. Says, so paying tribute to where it all began for me. Dublin 12, our master distiller and I set out with one goal in mind, is to craft a proper Irish whiskey that is true to Ireland. False. We are honored to share this with you and proud to donate the first responders for every bottle sold. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I bought this bottle. It went to first responders. Enjoy this smooth and balanced whiskey, a fine blend of golden grain and full-flavored malted barley, triple distilled and aged a minimum of 3 years. That's a problem right there. And bourbon barrels. Proper number 12 offers hints of vanilla, honey-like sweetness, and toasted wood. A proper salute to all. I could kind of get the vanilla and honey. Actually, no, I couldn't even get that. They're saying that they're there. I didn't find them. I didn't taste them.
It's aged the same exact amount of time as Old Crow.
Yeah, it's the Smirnoff of whiskeys. It's all marketing.
I think that is a good
Don't
point.
buy into the hype.
Do you remember how like popular Smirnoff was in like the 90s with all the, or was it Smirnoff or was it
Absolute.
Absolute? Yeah, that's a better. It's more like Absolute. It's got all that hype.
I think
with-
Smirnoff is like the lower end of
Smirnoff
Absolute.
does. They have Smirnoff Ice, right? Is that what that is?
They have a bunch of like weird flavors, but
There- 'cause-
we're saying it's more marketing. So like Absolute was like the king of marketing. They had all those different cool like Absolute commercial things.
I mean, it
in
worked because
magazines.
I bought this specifically to have a drink every time McGregor fought, and now
Or
he's
got
probably
knocked out.
He's never gonna fight again. So
Oh, he's gonna fight again. He's just gonna lose again.
if he loses again, he will retire.
No, he won't. He already retired once, and he's gonna.
He's retired
Whatever.
like 3 times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's.
I'm disappointed with all this. I know Smirnoff Ice. There was a thing that we always. It still goes around all the hockey rings, but you ice somebody, and it's you blast out a bottle of Smirnoff, and they have to take a knee and down the whole thing.
That's bootleg makes the best point of all. It is a bland whiskey, perfect for McGregor.
All right. Well, bootleg, if you could do me a favor and let me know what I need to buy to mix this with, just so I can get through this bottle, because I'm definitely not drinking this
Turpentine.
neat. There's no way I'm drinking this neat. And I'll even try it with a cube sometimes, but there's nothing to this at all. There's no flavor. There's no bite. It's missing all the stuff that whiskey should have. It's not there.
It's missing all the Irish.
It's everything. I'm putting that down. I'm going back to my Jameson just because that is what I prefer and that is what I
Fill me
like.
up, bitch.
With
I don't know. Something bland.
So
Something
there
Old
you
Crow?
go. You go ahead. So that's proper 12, and I don't suggest it. Don't try it.
We're gonna make it. We'll do one last. Well, I'll do a taste test because
Go
New
ahead.
does.
Do another taste test. While you guys do that taste test, I'm gonna go ahead. There's what I prefer right there. Nice and easy.
We're making
I'm keeping that right here
blended
close to me too.
whiskey. We're mixing the American with the Irish.
And you know what? And it's funny because like this isn't even a proper glass for my whiskey, and I'm smelling it, and I'm getting aroma from Jameson. That's nice. That's comforting. That you enjoy. None of that from the proper 12. It's unfortunate. The
most interesting thing about this conversation is that this is a CIA official shot glass.
Look at how much of my proper 12 we drank.
Because it's terrible.
I missed you. I missed you, Jameson. My old friend.
Why don't you wrap us up here, Scott, while I do the honors?
I do love that taste. So let's go ahead and get our outro music playing. I'm going to go ahead and get my Jameson bottle away here for a second so I can continue to do some work. And if you like what you heard here this week, head on over to ork_u on Instagram. Head over to facebook.com/ourreviewswillkillyou. If you are listening to us on one of our podcast platforms, that is Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or Amazon Play, make sure you go over to ourreviewswillkillyou.com and check us out there. You have our live videos. You can see Z choking on a shot glass of proper 12. Apparently, this one did not settle with him properly.
They're blended. It's the American Irish. You're supposed to like put it in your mouth and go backwards.
Oh, that's weird.
Keep going. You're supposed to ignore us.
So we're going. I'm ignoring you. And of course, go over to ourreviewswillkillyou.com/links because that is where you're going to find all of our fun things, our links to our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook, our podcast. Also, links to our Patreon. Noob, take it away.
Oh, why, thank you, Joshua Burnett, a.k.a. Doc, a.k.a. J. Bird, a.k.a. Dr. Doc Shit. Liz the Frisch, a.k.a. Dr. Mittens?
Dr. Mittens.
Dr.
Bernie.
Dr. Bernie Mittens.
Oh, Bernie's made another appearance. Let's clear that out. Dr. Fresh.
Dr. Fresh.
So fresh. So fresh and so clean.
But yes, Our Reviews Will Kill You is on Patreon. We do have multiple tiers available, including a tier that lets you game online with Z and Noob, as well as, you know what? I dropped the ball on that.
Join us as we play Ark. Doc is actually he's the master of his own world now. He controls everything about it. So that's the game we're playing right now.
He's basically Dinosaur Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that made sense. I dropped the ball. Doc and Fresh, they should have been scrolling across the screen the entire time, as that is a lower tier and a benefit of joining the higher tiers, which is what you see them now. Okay. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
Yeah, you forgot to thank your guest who talked about Warhammer.
Cameron Newton.
Cam Newton, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cam Newton, a.k.a. Cam Windrig. Old buddy of mine, an old hockey friend of mine when I lived out in Lancaster with the rest of the Amish people. But he told us everything we need to know about
and
God,
more.
Warhammer 4K or whatever that was.
So much.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I knew nothing about it before, and now I know a lot about it. So I do appreciate him coming on. Mm-hmm. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Jay Bird, Ron Shade, Sam Jr., Bootleg was with us most of the night. You were quiet tonight, Bootleg. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Big Bird
was there earlier. I hope he still is. Raymond, JC11, Noob's boyfriend, of course, and everyone else that stopped by. And I think that's it.
Well, thank you so much for listening to us tonight. We do appreciate it. And if you enjoyed what you saw or heard or however you participate, give us a like, give us a review, share with your friends, share with the world. Bring them into the Ork University where you get an education on life in general. So anyway, from all of us here at Our Reviews Will Kill You, to all of y'all at home, we love y'all. We thank y'all. And on to the next one.